Originally, I wanted the idea of the two sisters, and then I added the literary element later. But it basically comes from my own story, and my husband is okay if I talk about this. But he was adopted, and through DNA tests has found links to both his maternal side and his paternal side, and so it's been a part of our lives since I think it was 2018 when all this connected. And so he now has great relationships with his half siblings, and so I was intrigued, obviously, by that in our own life, and I liked the idea of I know it's possible because it happened in our situation where people don't even know that they've got these half siblings and somewhere, and we just don't know the past of our of people in our families, and there are no secrets anymore. Like you said, it's DNA about criminals, and there's just no secrets anymore when it comes to things like that. And so I was intrigued by that. So I wanted the idea of really the idea of this woman who is dealing with a life-threatening, heart situation. That's a big part of it. Juniper, the one of the heroines, has a heart attack basically in the beginning of the book. She's very healthy athlete, was, runner, very, very healthy, had a congenital situation she didn't know she had. And so that part intrigued me. And then she's already dealing with that, and then to find out that she's got a half sister that she had no idea that she had, and everything she thought she knew about her life was not right, and so she's having to sort of cope with all of those things at the same time. So that was kind of the genesis of the idea. I liked the idea that she needed to go somewhere to heal, and of course this author who I envisioned like Steinbeck Hemingway was her father, who was her mother's favorite author, her favorite author. She didn't know she had this biological connection to him, but loved him so much. And so, sorry, Steinbeck Hemingway. Did I get those mixed up? I thought I said Steinway, and I'm like, wait, that's a piano. That's not who I meant. But anyway, and so I liked that he had this big ranch in Wyoming, and then his daughter goes to find her stepsister, ends up saving her life when she has this heart attack. It brings her back to their ranch so she can get to know her, get to know their father who's passed away, get to know sort of her heritage without yet telling her that they are half sisters. Anytime you have a secret in a book that one person knows and the readers know, there's this anticipation of when are they going to find out, what's going to happen when they find out. So the reader is knowing that there's eventually going to be a disclosure. That's a big part of the book. And so it is fun to write those things. It was fun to write the conflict with Allie, the other sister. When do I tell her? She just had a heart attack. Her whole life has changed already. How do I throw in this other thing that she has no idea about, and throw and change her again? So there was an inherent conflict there, and also, drama. I knew that there was going to be drama when the revelations came out, and how, and every other people knew, but not everybody in the story knew. So I had all these other people that had to find out, like the grandmother and things like that. So it was fun to write. I like situations like that when there are secrets and revelations, and it does help kind of move the plot forward more easily than not having those things. So I usually kind of know going in whether I'm going to continue something. If I think it might continue, I will plant characters in it that I know that I'm going to write their stories eventually. So this most of my summer books, which are kind of more women's fiction, are standalone books. So I did a series that was called Cape Sanctuary, but none of those books connected to each other in any way other than they were set in the same place. So sometimes I do that, but my Christmas books are connected to each other and they have characters that are the same. And I know that from the beginning that I'm going to introduce other people that whose stories I want to write. I want the readers to know these people now so that they're interested in their story down the line. So it is hard to write a book that you think is going to be a standalone and turn that into a series because you haven't planted those seeds along the way and all those secondary characters that whose stories, the readers are curious about and will want to know.